Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. Today is a good day. Why? 3 reasons. Let's check them out. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, to be honest, the last 10 days or so, I have been sick. I had a nasty cough. Wasn't feeling good. It was draining me. I had no energy. And to be honest, I felt terrible. Finally, we managed to get an appointment with the doctor. Spoke to him. He checked me out. The normal stuff. And he thinks that I have a sinus infection. Well, had one. And it caused a problem with my lungs where I don't know what it's called, but only one side, my left side lung, got infected with pneumonia, which just exacerbated the problem. Word of the day! So, been kind of beat up, really struggling, having to go to work. We were busy at work. I was exhausted the whole time, having coughing sprees where I'd just cough for 20 minutes solid, couldn't stop. Would be exhausted, yada, yada, yada. Now that I've seen the doctor, he's given me some meds and I already feel better. So there's that. Yesterday, I got a very quick mail call. Number 2 on the list. And this one is from somebody in the knife community. You probably have watched some of his videos or subscribe to him, and it's Big Jim from the Barlow Brigade, and he sent me a couple of stickers. Check them out. Very cool, very simple, and yep, everybody's favorite, the Barlow. Very cool and to the point. Anyway, Jim sent me these. He had contacted me and he said, I'm going to send you some stickers. Can you send me some of yours? They're in the mail already. I got a little behind on getting people stickers. I had a lot of requests. I'm getting a lot of requests for stickers. They're not cheap. And I finally got my last order in because I messed that up. And I'm already halfway through them. So brace yourself. Anywho, we have a sticker. Barlow Brigade. Big Jim. Go check him out if you haven't seen him. And we're going to put his sticker on the wall of shame. There you go. Look at that. The wall of shame is filling up. Look at the knife community. All these people are wonderful. If you haven't looked at them, you need to go and check them out. So he sent it in an envelope and a little note that says, thank you, George. Here are my new channel stickers. Please, if you have a couple of your stickers, I would love some of them. Saber knives rock. That's what he said, yeah. Big Jim. So if you haven't seen him, here's his channel. I'll put a link below. Stop by and say hola. And I'm sure you'll be happy. He knows all about Barlows. Just saying. So that was number 2. The day was looking great. I got a call from Keith. If you remember, Keith, he had sent me, or he had actually gifted me like over 50, it's probably closer to 60 knives now. Some of them from his brother's knife collection. His brother was a big folder guy, collected knives, him and his brother, for years and years. And Keith is more on the side of a fixed blade guy. He has an awesome collection, huge. And he lives just up the road from me, as you know, if you saw that. He called me and he said, you working? And I was like, nope, not this weekend. And he said, how about we go to the Wells Gun and Knife Show? Well, here's something that's going to shock you all. 2 things. 1, I've never actually been to an event of any sort with somebody who subscribed to my channel, somebody who I met on YouTube. That was number 1. was a first for me. And I have been with another subscriber, a very wonderful guy, LA Mike. I went and fished in the surf with him in LA. It was fun. Great guy, wonderful man. And we had a good time. Couldn't connect up last time I was in San Diego, but hopefully this year when I'm up there, we can meet up again and maybe do some fishing again. But Keith, like I said, let's go to the Wells Gun and Knife Show. And I thought, Wells, Minnesota, small little town in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota. Why would they have a gun show and knife show? More on that later. So here's the other thing. I have never attended a gun or knife show in my life, with or without other people. Just something I never thought about doing, simply because I was under the impression that everything there would be new as far as knives. I knew that I'd spoken to people and that they always talked about the guns, and you can go there and swap and trade and buy new and used and all sorts of good stuff. Personally, not a gun guy, do not own one. Yeah. But I do own knives. And Keith said to me, let's go over there. They do this once a year. You might enjoy it. Well, let me tell you, it was awesome. I couldn't, first of all, we get there and it was at the local school in Wells. And it's a new school. They just rebuilt it and they made it really nice. Not enough parking in the world for that show. We literally drove around for 40 minutes trying to find a parking spot, and we finally got lucky and found one. You know, Keith is more persistent than me. He actually drove up. And, he, like I said, he's more persistent than I would. If I would have went home. But we found a parking spot and we went in. Now, I will say I did not film anything from it. 2 reasons. I know Keith is kind of a private guy, and I want him to get more comfortable with me. And then maybe we can get him on a video sometime and he can meet him, a wonderful man. But anyway, it cost like $8 to get into the show. Got the stamp and walked in there. There were 100 vendors. I'm not kidding. It was a huge show. We must have spent 3 hours just walking through the main hall, the side rooms. Everything was just packed with vendors. And it was awesome just to see all the stuff. There were hundreds of people there. And it was very interesting. It was also interesting to go somewhere with somebody who loves knives like you do and is very knowledgeable. Obviously he's been going to this show for years and years, and a lot of the other shows. Now I get it. I was a little apprehensive, didn't know what to expect, a little slow at getting going, but once I got going, I was like, oh, this is very cool. A ton of knives. And I'm talking about the knives I like. Traditional, vintage, old knives. Some rusty, some not. And all different flavors. All different pricing. And here's the other thing. The pricing surprised me. More in my line of thinking when, if I pick up a knife, I go, well, this is worth $10. Well, it was. They were selling it for $10. So it was interesting. I fortunately stopped at the bank the day before and just drew out $100. Well, I had to drag it out of my bank account. My budget, it's pretty tough. And put it in my pocket because I didn't know what the procedures were. Well, everything's cash there and negotiable. And fortunately, I thought I'm not going to have enough money here. Literally every other table had knives, and we stood there, talked about them, looked at them. laughed, cried. It was awesome. So basically, that was the third thing to make it a good day for me. And yes, I bought 1 or 2 knives. I actually spent $102. And I owe Keith $10 because the second to last table we saw before leaving had a knife that I had to have. And I was basically out of money. It was the $8 to get in. I had like $4 left. And he's like, no problem, here's $10, and I got the knife. So it was probably about $106 I spent. But I got to say, not just what I got was worth it, but just the experience. We're going to be doing this more. And like I said, we had fun. We spent a long time there, and afterwards we went and had, he drove, so I bought lunch, sat and chatted, and talked there and back about different things, and it was a good time. Got back to his place. We had a look at what we had bought, and he bought a lot, way more than I did. He found some stuff I'd never knew existed. In fact, he didn't either. And he also found some real bargains because the person selling them had no idea what they had. So there's that. So it was a good day, a really good day. So I thought I'd just share that with you. Finally, after 2 weeks of having a really tough time, yesterday was a good day, and today's looking even better. Let me show you what I got. I'm very proud of myself for a first-time hit. So like I said, we started wandering through, and immediately Keith was walking in front of me. I was just following him, and he just pointed, and I looked down, and he was smiling at me, and he pointed down. And yep, there was a bunch of old knives, and started looking, seeing, and I was worried about the prices. And like I said, pleasantly surprised. That's the way to go, guys. You have more options to bargain, and it is a cash-only system, so they tend to be a little bit more loose with their price. They have it listed, and they say, you know what, if you want it, I'll, $2 off or whatever. Anywho, I found this guy. See that? And it's just a plain old jack, right? Yes, it is. And here you can see, yep, Hammer brand. Yep. Very nice. And of course, it's a little rusty, a little beat up. Blade is in good shape. It's still got a pretty good point on there. It's not perfect, but it's still got the point. And of course, the scales are damaged and woot. You know what that means, right? So we put some scales on. We're going to have to replace these scales, clean it up. A great project. This is what I look for. So picked up this guy. Very nice, and I think it was $8. Very good condition. A nice project. Originally I thought, it's a fisherman's knife, but it's not. It was just a plain jack. Well, not to be disappointed, we walked a couple of more down the road, and here you go again. And yep, see what I found. Look at this guy. Is that not awesome? Is a little unusual. Now, Keith found one, almost identical to this. Didn't have a bail, and everything else was almost exact match. And I think that the scales were different. Was in way better condition, and he found that one. But I found this guy, and this guy on the tank stamp here, you see here, it just says "Made in USA." It's a single blade fisherman. You have the main long clip, Yucatan, or whatever you want to call it, a nice slicer for filleting, your scale remover, and of course the hook remover is actually in the handle like that. On a 2-blade one, you have your blade, and then you actually have the tool with the hook on it and that sort of stuff. You can see here, it tells you hook remover, and there's an arrow pointing. Just in case you didn't know that. This one, like I said, made in USA. Not sure who made it. I have a suspicion, but I'm not sure, so I don't want to say that. But this is a really nice fisherman. I really like this guy. Look how thin it is. It's kind of flattish. It doesn't have the rounded things. It is not a clam cover. This is actually pinned. So with that, I think I paid $10 for that. Then we wandered around some more, and I found this guy. Look at this. Now, when both Keith and I first looked at it, we thought it was a wood handle off the bat. And I was like, ooh. But then once I picked it up and looked at it, it's actually, it's some sort of resin or whatever it's called. But it is a very, very cool handle. And as you can see, it was a blistering $5. And yes, it is an electrician's knife, which I don't have. Blades in excellent condition, shape and everything. Everything is working perfect. The only difference I'm seeing in this, and I'm not sure, which I think it is. I think it the lock for the tool works perfect, but look at it. It's not brass. Is that brass? I'm not sure. And the way they did it, if you look in the tang there, look at that. It's like a little divot. I haven't looked at that. But this, I don't need to take apart. Just need to clean it up, make the blade sharp and shiny, clean everything up, give it a good clean in the well, and a great addition to my my electrician's collection. And like I said, a blistering $5, including tax and shipping. Oh, and it is a colonial made in the US of A. Very nice. Really like this. It's a very nice knife. I have one that was similar. I think it's a colonial, but it was a Barlow electrician's knife. It's very similar to this. And then, not to be disappointed, not too far down the aisles. By this time I'm overwhelmed and I'm thinking I gotta slow down here because we're about 3 steps into the building. And yep, look at that. An electrician's knife. Another one. Look at that. And I got to tell you, pretty excited about this one. I'll just show you. It's very similar to, I have a Craftsman and I have a Camelus, yada, 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 yada. And this one, interesting, they made them for Sears, places like that. This one is a little different. I don't know if you can see that, but it says Wards. Remember Wards? Wow. I was like, that is cool. Can't be too many of them left. And here it is here. Can't remember what I paid for it, but I'm going to say around about $12, I think. And you know what? It's in good condition. Once again, everything. This blade here is a little beat up there. Can you see that? Nothing that can't be fixed. Good cleanup. And we're off to the races. My electrician collection groweth. And this one is very cool. Like I said, it's awards. And when I looked him up, yep, this is what I found out. It's a little old. Very cool. Never trudging along once again. And we're getting a little bit deeper in there. And I found this guy. Look at this. Can you see that? Anybody know what that is? Can you guess? That might be a giveaway. It's missing, but it would be a giveaway. Yep, it's a K-bar. See that there? K-bar. Made in the USA. Look at that. And the cool thing is, look at that. Nice little camper or scout knife, utility knife, whatever you want to call it. Very good condition. Blades are great. They're not, this has been sharpened, but it can do with a cleanup. Everything is in good condition. The only thing missing is the shield. And I'm thinking, I'm sure I could get a little piece of metal and put it in there, except it's not going to say K-bar on there. It normally says K-bar on there. But look at that, a K-bar, right? And I think this one, around about 12, 13 bucks, maybe 14 bucks max. I should have kept track of it. Normally I'm filming, so I know, but I didn't this time. And it's in really good condition. Beautiful little knife. And by the way, K-bar calls it a Scout Camp Utility, and I believe it is between 1966 and 1982 sometime. Not sure when. But this will clean up real pretty, and now I actually have a K-bar. Is that not cool? And it's one of my favorite styles, a camper. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Here you go. Look at that. Did you see the clue on that one? Look carefully. See that shield? Camillus. Boom. Right there. Can't walk past that, right? Saw this guy. It's in really good condition. And you can see it here. And you know me and Camillus, there's no way I'm going to walk past something like this. Not only that, it is, if you have a look on the back here, it says 165, right? I believe it is, stainless. And that tells me it is the small Stockman pattern. And the cool thing about it, they refer to as the sword Camilluses. And the reason is, like I showed you, right there on the badge, there's the crossed swords. And if you look carefully, and this was very exciting, they are etched. And if you look really carefully, you can still see it, and you can see it says, hold on, let me get it for you. See that? Is that not cool? And it says it is a razor edge stainless. Is what it says there. And you can still see it, which tells me it's in really good condition, right? Never thought I'd see that. So now I have a Camillus sword. Can't remember what I paid for it. Don't care. There you go. And then things got even better because, 3 rooms later, 1,400 tables of knives and guns, I found this guy. Look at this. Okay. Look how clean that is. It gets better. Look at that. Now this one, I have a couple of these that are really beat up. And this one is the Cub Scout official Boy Scouts of America. How do I know that? Official Boy Scouts of America knife. And it's okay, and if you look here, it's a Camillus, stainless. I looked it up, and here's some info on it. The vintage Camillus official Boy Scout of America knife. The number is 22561 from about 1970 to 1980. Blue jig composite handle scales, polished high carbon steel steel point blade etched with official knife, and the logo, locking cap with screwdriver for both the screwdriver and the oar. So it has locking on the two there, not the blade. They never do for some reason. My Camillus collection. I'm getting to be very proud of that, especially when I find things like this. Look at that. It needs a little bit of a polish and maybe a sharpen, but that's it. Very cool. Now I was at the point where, okay, I'm done. I've got like $4 left in my wallet. I'm depressed because I'm walking past all their knives and everything like that. It was like the second to last table. We came across some knives. And I saw this and I was like, you probably just watched this video that I put out about pocket knives. Yep, look at that. That cigar-shaped, what they call their pocket pal from Victorinox. But I'm going to say that this cost me $10. And that was what I borrowed from Keith. Look at that. Yep. It's got that Scout badge on it. Is that not cool? Really good condition. And if you look at the tang stamp, you can see it there. Actually, when I looked it up, I actually found it. And they say that it is the Swiss Army knife Red Handle Boy Scout number 1262. And, you know, if you look at the tang stamp, and if you date it, it's a 73 to 76. Is that not cool? I already have a bunch of these. I have the plain ones. I have a blue one that has the metal badge on it for the Cub Scout. Now I have this, another perfect pocket pal. What a day. What a good time to spend with a guy who knows his stuff and enjoys the things you do. I tell you, it was a good day yesterday. Like I said, when we got back, we spent probably 30 minutes afterwards just ogling and oohing and ahhing on what we got. Like I said, Keith got some bargains, including some. Here's the one I was talking about. You can see here, it's called a Swiss buck. And it's actually made by Wenger. Now, the cool thing is, they only made 15 to 16, I want to say, models of it. And what Wenger did was combine the Swiss stuff and made it for buck. And they are very cool knives. Well, Keith found two, a big one and a small one, at one table. These are rare. They're not common at all. So very cool. And he got them at the right price. So there you are. Swiss buck, Buck Knives Inc. And you can see it says manufactured by Wenger. Very cool. Very cool. He lucked out there. He got some other stuff, but I just wanted to show you that. Plus, as I was leaving, he said, you know, George, I know you're a huge Camillus fan. And he says, I have a bunch and I have a lot of duplicates. Here's two of them. He said he had two of these. He needs to thin down. And here they are here. And they're in the boxes. Look at that. Right? And this one. But that's another story. So there you go. How did my day get good? There are the 3 reasons. Just saying. Things are looking up. Winter's shutting down. Spring is coming. Fly fishing, camping, knives, restores. You all be safe out there. Especially in summertime, we're all getting out there in the outside, barbecuing, camping, hiking. Be careful. Always. Just be careful. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. Just wanted to share that with you. Feeling better. Medications are helping. The doc said it's going to take a week before I get over this, hopefully. And things are looking up. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Always appreciate it. And we'll see you again soon.